Okay. Welcome to qualifying. We are ready to rumble. As ready as we're ever going to be. It's been a long wait, so it feels like a long wait. Hopefully, we have a good qualifying. Just send a little tweet. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Front row prediction. I didn't get to see much of FP1, but I mean, I think it'll be a Red Bull 1-2 with Max leading the way. Perez is actually really good on street circuits. He's deceptively good on street circuits, is Perez. Genuinely very, very good. So it won't be easy. Ferraris looked like they had half decent pace. I'll just check the timings now because I saw some of it, but I had it on the other screen while we were playing. Charles Leclerc was in second place, like 0.003 of a second off Max, and Carlos Sainz was half a second down in fourth. Lando in the McLaren was up in fifth. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. These all ran on the soft tyres, though. Fernando Alonso's 1.2 seconds down, but he only ran on the mediums, as did Lewis and George, I believe. So, yeah, there's going to be a few interesting things. I don't really know what's going to happen. to tell you the honest truth, I mean, who bloody knows? Who bloody knows? But, you know, we'll see. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting qualifying. Just because there isn't really, you know, teams have barely had any. There was a red flag in FP1 as well. So they had one practice session, 1 hour. And during that, it was stopped for that fire on Gasly's car. So, yeah, not really ideal. Doesn't look like the teams are going to have much of an idea of tyre wear or anything going into that sprint tomorrow. The sprint tomorrow, for all intents and purposes, I think, will pretty much be their long-run test. That'll be how they will determine what to run in the race, because they don't really have any other bit of information. So, essentially, they'll be doing qualifying today, qualifying tomorrow. And then the sprint race will be both a sprint race and a sort of way of learning the tyre wear and everything for the race on Sunday. Because that's the only bit of information they're really going to be able to get. God, we got so many races coming up. The annoying thing is we've got a couple of races coming up, but some of them I don't even like. Miami's fine. But then Monaco and Spain, well, they can go do one. I don't like Monaco. I don't like Spain. Although Spain will have the new layout without the chicane. So that's something. But yeah. And then which one comes first? Is it Imola first? After Miami? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, so Imola. So we've got Baku this weekend, Miami next weekend, then 1 week off, and then it's Imola, Monaco, and Spain back to back. Then a week off, and then Canada. So the races come thick and fast now. Thick and fast. I don't think a race can be thick, can it? Obviously, you get the principle, but I don't think it really makes sense, does it? Okay. Yeah, softest tyres for this weekend as well, but the surface has been relayed, so I don't know if that'll have some sort of impact. Like I said, I didn't get to properly watch FP1, so I don't really have a lot to go on. Martin Brundle isn't at Baku this weekend, then, no? Great suggestion. Suggestion for what, Wiggle? Good suggestion regarding the Moby up down for tag. What do you mean? He does miss quite a lot of races now, obviously due to other commitments and. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah. I did see that they were doing a charity stream. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Bring Sally up, bring Sally down. Yeah, I think at the last I said to them that they should do the Moby up, Moby down one because it's brutal. Bring Sally up, bring Sally down. You don't actually think it would be that bad until you do it, and then you realize just how bad the squatting actually is. So what are we thinking then, folks? I think it's still going to be Red Bull 1-2, but what are you guys thinking? What's your thoughts? Who's going to get pole position? Obviously for the race, not for the sprint. There's a separate qualifying for the sprint. We will be streaming the sprint shootout tomorrow, but that will be on Twitch. Because I'll be streaming tomorrow morning on Twitch. I'll watch the Formula 1 and then I'll carry on with Star Wars. This is the qualifying for Sunday. Gasly's back out as well. They got the car fixed, which is pretty impressive considering it was aflame on the side of the road. Lobato, how you doing?
Thanks for the boys to get the car out.
Crazy, isn't it? It looks like quite a nice place to go, Baku. Max Charles. Well, I mean, Charles was close in FP1, wasn't he? So.
So if anything, it's a slight headwind.
Wait, why is there tires? Why are they out on? Why are they out on softs? I thought they were meant to be on mediums. I thought it was meant to be medium, medium, soft. Is that not true? Or have I misunderstood? Oh, yeah, that's the sprint one. Sorry. Yeah. I'm already confusing it. I'm already confusing the sprint qualifying and normal qualifying because I'm an idiot. But you're absolutely right, yeah. The medium tire is for sprint qualifying tomorrow morning. This is different. That Mercedes, for all intents and purposes, from what I've seen on Twitter and everything, was very draggy down the straight. Do you know what? I was dead against it when I heard it. I thought, this is stupid. I don't like it. I'm obviously going to give it a try this weekend and, you know, we'll see. The drivers didn't seem to be against it all that much. They seemed to be like, well, you know, it's all right. So, look, we'll see. Yellow flag, sector 1 already. Well, don't cut him off, Crofty. What are you cutting him off for? It wasn't anything major. Albon was quickest through sector 1, quicker than Hamilton. Obviously, he's not quicker anymore, but... I mean, it looked like a half-decent lap for Hamilton, but I doubt it's going to be very quick, but... I mean, it looked alright. DRS is much further back now. It's 100 meters further back on the straight. Yeah. I think that's the biggest issue with the sprint. There's not much reward, especially for the lower teams. Albon goes quickest. Jesus. I tell you for why, because the lower teams in a race still have a chance of getting into the top 10 when things happen, right? There's way less chance in the sprint. Not to mention the fact that you only get points up to P8 in the sprint. So it's even harder for the worst teams. It's even harder for them to... It's even harder for them to get into the points. So it's worse. So for teams that are right down the bottom, like Haas and these people, they'll be like, well, what's the fucking point? What's the point? We're on YouTube now. We can't be swearing. So yeah, I don't really think from that perspective it's worthwhile.
Copy that.
That lap from Oh, yellow flag. That lap from Hamilton wasn't really that good, was it? 8/10 down on a lap from Lando Norris. And now Leclerc's just gone quickest. Max Verstappen's going to blitz that. Yeah. 2 seconds quicker than Leclerc. So that lap from Hamilton was 1.7 seconds down. What? And Perez was 1.5 seconds down on Max Verstappen as well. What the hell? Mercedes car isn't that draggy, is it? It can't be more draggy than the bloody Williams. And Mercedes going to be with a Williams. Mercedes is sandwiched between Albon and Sargent. Golly. The Mercedes is just a really draggy car. It's crazy. 7/10 down on Verstappen. I don't see anyone matching the Red Bull.
There's reports of a bottle at turn 12, so just eyes out.
Joe Guan Yu just losing it into turn 1. That was weird. That's a set of tyres ruined. Oof. The Windy City. Mercedes, are Mercedes going to be worried by that? Because that was incredibly slow. 1.7 seconds slower than Red Bull. That can't be right, can it? I mean, it is, like I say, it is a track that's full, you know. Oh! Nick de Vries in the wall. Oh, dear. Yeah, Hamilton went quicker there, but still a second red flag. Still a second off Verstappen's time. That's insane. That is insane. Yeah, it's basically like straight. Obviously, the middle sector is a little bit, you know, fiddly, but it's straight line power and efficiency, isn't it? And so Red Bull is really good, and Mercedes isn't when it comes to that. Nick de Vries. Well, mate, Lance is... Lance was slower than Fernando Alonso, yet Fernando Alonso was giving him a tow.
Okay, so we've got De Vries in the wall, turn 3 exit.
I need to tweak this a little bit.
Please. Did my lap count? No, I think we just missed it, unfortunately.
Just check out turn 3. Doesn't feel too good though.
Lance Stroll is going to be on pole position for him by the end of the session. Just because you've willed it to be. Oh, Magnussen engine issue. Ruined. Stroll's currently in 11th. He was 1.6 seconds down on Max Verstappen.
Engine problem again.
But Alonso was only 0.7 seconds down.
Yeah, Kev, we think there's some sort of electrical connector problem somewhere. That's the...
Which is weird, considering he gave him a tow. Verstappen asking them to check his headrest, but it was interesting that he went, just a heads up. Lol.
Just as a heads up, can we check my headrest again?
Yeah, so the format is exactly the same for this qualifying. Q1, Q2, Q3, all as normal. This will now set the grid for Sunday's main race. Then tomorrow morning, there will be a sprint shootout. That sprint shootout is still Q1, Q2, Q3, but the times are less in each session, and drivers are forced to use the medium tyre in Q1 and Q2. Okay, and that will set the grid for the sprint race later tomorrow.
We'll do our best.
So this is just qualifying as normal, but it's on the Friday. But it's now setting the grid for Sunday, and the sprint does not set the grid anymore. So, yeah, it's... Look, it's not confusing, okay? And I know people are like... I've seen people going, oh, it's not confusing. It is to the average fan. If you watch Formula 1 religiously, you'll be able to understand what's going on. But if you're an average fan, you'll be like... You might watch this now, and then you're at home tomorrow, and you're like, hold on, what's this other qualifying? What the fuck's this? You won't have any idea. Oh, hold on, it's like the other qualifying. Oh, but why are they using the medium tyre? Oh, this is much shorter than yesterday. What's going on? Like, it just seems unnecessary. I said this yesterday, but if they were going to do a second qualifying, well, they have done a second qualifying, but I don't know why they just didn't keep it exactly the same, the exact same timings, exact same qualifying format, just, separate for the sprint. I don't know why they had to go, okay, we're going to do a second qualifying, but we're also going to change that qualifying. Well, why? Well, McLaren have bought a big upgrade this weekend. They've got a brand new floor. They've got a lot that's been brought to the car, including the new floor.
Let's just keep bringing the car in, please.
I think they've got a new beam wing, maybe a new beam wing, but they've definitely got a brand new floor, and they seem a lot better. Well, to be honest, Ari, that's actually a very good way of putting it. For the fan, tomorrow will be great. We'll have a qualifying and a race in the same day. Brilliant. But for the teams, probably shit, especially the ones that are at the back, because not only is it a shorter race to get into the points, but the points are further away. You only get points now for being in the top 8. So the people in the top 8 are going to be the best teams all the time. So the bottom teams are it's almost worthless running that race tomorrow. All they're doing is putting stress on their engines for no benefit. Zero benefit. So it seems pointless for them, but for us it'll be good, because you've got more running, I suppose. Imagine losing twice. Imagine getting out qualified and losing in 2 separate races on one weekend. I don't know. I think it would be too much though, wouldn't it? One Dente Evil, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate it. I feel like it would be too much, wouldn't it? If you gave points all the way down to last place. I don't know. I suppose you could say only for the sprint, everyone gets a point. But then would it lessen getting points in the World Championship when every sprint just finishing gets you a point? I don't know what the solution is, to be honest, but I don't know. I just don't know. Carlos Sainz actually, yeah, doesn't have a time at the minute. We might try and play some F1 tonight, if anyone's keen. After this, I have to just pop out, like I said, and then I'll be back probably about live back on Twitch about 5:30. So well, I might just play some Star Wars for a little bit. And then maybe a little bit of F1 before Counter-Strike. I mean, F1 before Counter-Strike sounds like a delight, doesn't it? Look, I've got to get back up to the swing of things with F1 because I was terrible the other day. But also, new game will be out soon. Well, we don't know when, but it'll be out soon. They made that announcement the other day. I think it's 4 or half 4. They're obviously doing this breaking point reveal for the new F1 game, which is kind of interesting the way they're going about it. Incident involving car 1 Verstappen noted, released in an unsafe condition. Does that have to do with this headrest, maybe? But yeah, also they announced F1 Manager 23, which we knew was coming. We don't have any details on it, but we knew it was going to happen this year. Did I say tomorrow? I meant, yeah, today, 4 or half 4 today, Connor. Here's what it's going to be, because I saw the picture with Naomi Schiff. It's basically going to be a fake car reveal for the new team in Breaking Point, Connor Sport, or whatever it was called. So they're going to, it seems like they've recorded a real car reveal and sort of conference that's going to act as the reveal of Breaking Point. So I suppose it's an interesting way of going about it, but I don't give a shit about Breaking Point. So I don't give a shit about Breaking Point. So I think it'll just be, I think it'll just be a story reveal rather than a gameplay one. Oh, they've already ruled that it. That was quick. Yeah, I mean, the Breaking Point just wasn't for me. It wasn't anything that I was interested in at all. Breaking Point is a story mode for Formula One, Wiggle. Again, I don't know if it's comparable if you're familiar with the one that FIFA did. You know, where you had like this story mode for a player as you worked your way up from being a young'un. It's the same principle basically. You start with a low team and they add in some story drama and sort of race scenarios, and it's just a story mode for Formula One. The Alex Hunter story, yeah. So I didn't play Breaking Point. I didn't play it. I wasn't interested in it, and I don't suspect I'll play this one, to be honest. Oh, maybe I'll give it a go. I don't know. I won't rule it out. His granddad. You could have his son. I don't know how old Alex Hunter was. Notoriously over the years, sons of Formula One drivers haven't done that well, but there are a few notable exceptions. Jos Verstappen being one of them. Nico Rosberg as well. Keke Rosberg, Nico Rosberg. They're coming out in 3.5 minutes, Ari. 3.5 minutes from now. Just trying to get this in the right. There we go. It's a bit better. Hell, no. Like, look, right. I love Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher seems like a really nice guy. I was a huge fan of watching his dad, Michael, especially growing up. Mick isn't good enough. I know it's not great to hear, but he's not. He's not at the level of some of these other drivers. He isn't. It just is. It is what it is. Lewis doesn't even have his gloves on. The hell? He's in the pit lane, like waiting to go at the lights, and he doesn't have his gloves on. That's bizarre. So I wish, I hope that Mick comes back, but he isn't. He doesn't quite have the same natural talent, does he? As some of the others, I would say. I mean, this isn't exactly a late red flag. They're talking about late red flags, but it's bloody 10 minutes left. Like, they got loads of... It's not like they've got 3 minutes and they have to go get a lap in. It's 10 minutes. It was a problem for Nick with braking. Oh, they'll be jostling, all right.
Alarm is still there. I still have BBW off. What do I do?
Okay, Nick, we have an issue. P1, back to P1. We'll try to solve it in the garage.
I mean, they're literally all queued up, ready to go. These modern Formula One cars, though, can actually start themselves. It used to be the case that they always had to be started with a starter from the back of the car in the pits. So they can go to the edge of the pit lane now and stop and then start themselves back up. There we go. Green now. The tyres are going to be freezing. Because, yeah, they've been out there with the tyres cooling down. It looks like an interesting place, Baku. It looks like an interesting place to go visit. Oh, they're tussling. They're tussling. George Russell wants to get on with it. Carlos Sainz weaving down the straight. They look like they've replaced the curbs. Obviously, the curbs that get put down, obviously it's a road circuit, so the curbs get put down fresh every year. But they look in certain areas like they've been like renewed. Especially, I can't remember the turn that it is, but it's the as you come out of turn. Oh, where would it be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like sort of turn 5, 6, I think it is. It's before you get to the castle section. On the outside, it looks like there's a whole new curb section that they've sort of added in. As I found out when I watched a video setting up... this man basically that had gone to the Australian Grand Prix before it was set up, and he'd sort of documented it like week by week of how the circuit had changed as it was getting ready. And what you might not know, but for instance, with the Australian Grand Prix, when they're putting all the advertising hoardings back up, they repaint them every year. They just leave them, like put them in a random order because they're going to repaint them all. And all the curbs get painted by someone fresh every year. Yeah, it's pretty mad. All right, we're on board there with George Russell. Sliding a little bit. Already a yellow in Sector 1. Oh! Gasly! Another red flag! Oh, Pierre, they've just fixed your car! He smashed it into the wall. Those engineers... Those engineers are going to be furious. They've just... After FP1, for those of you that didn't know, there was a huge engine fire on Pierre Gasly's car. It was soldering. It was smouldering on the side of the road for ages, burning up. The engineers had to pull out the engine and the gearbox after FP1, and within 3 hours had to change it all ready for qualifying. And then he's now put it back in the wall.
I locked the front.
And screwed it.
Okay, copy that, mate.
I mean, we're not even out of Q1. We're not even out of Q1. This is what happens, though, when you get red flags, because they were really cold. Oh, my God. We have to repair this barrier now as well. Are you kidding me? I'll never get to my haircut. God damn it. Let's have a look. I'm just watching the onboard now of Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, I could not stop the car.
Oh, yeah. Just a little bit too hot, wasn't he? Just, oh. Yeah, you're right. It's the same wall, same corner. Oh, dear. Now, this is going to be tough for those engineers now because... Yeah, Carlos Sainz... Oh, Carlos Sainz spun it round as well. God, he's lucky. Incredibly lucky. This is all because those cars were all waiting at the pit lane, I think, to start their lap. But they all ended up on cold tyres. Well, he might have, Tilbo. There was a pretty big hit on the rear of the car, so they'll want to check that gearbox. The allowances for gearboxes, MGK, MGUH, and the ICE have gone up this year. They just announced it from 3 to 4, which will help him, because he's just burnt through 2. Literally. Lol. Pierre Gasly's still in the car. He doesn't want to get out. He's actually thinking to himself, I really wish I wouldn't have done that. So sadly for him, he is out of qualifying. And the other bad news for him is that he's not going to be able to use the sprint to get positions up to sort himself out for Sunday. he is now going to start in 18th place, or well, potentially worse now. It'll be lower than that. So he's just going to have to go again. He is going to, regardless of what happens tomorrow in the sprint, he will start the race from the back. So, true, Liam, true. Sainz, yes, still didn't have his, didn't get his time in. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That video actually did well. I was saying this earlier. It did well. The last few videos I've done haven't, necessarily done that well, but that one did sort of 3,000 views, which was good. I was pleased with that. So, yeah, good. I'm happy. Yeah, I mean, I think there was a small lockup on the inside, but just watch it again. No, he does have a small lockup on the front inside, but I do agree. I do think he just went in a little bit too deep. He almost got away with it as well. He almost got away with it. It was so he was very close to getting away with it. I think you can tell though from the way he hit the wall, where the front of the car sort of went in and the rear slid round and did all the damage in the back. That kind of tells you that he was going in a little bit too quick. Yeah. Obviously didn't get as much braking performance as he thought. He would have been trail braking a little bit into that corner, so he'd have been braking in a straight line and then holding the brakes. And maybe they just didn't give him what he needed.
Okay, go in, red flag, boxing, the green.
Damn it, man. I was on another good lap.
That's fine.
Logan Sargent feeling it. So yeah. Verstappen just telling his engineer that he's annoyed by the sun. Do you want your tape? Which is the tape they have on their helmet for the sun.
Lower and lower. It's quite annoying.
Yeah, understood. Do you want your tape?
No, it's okay. It's just annoying.
It's like, do you want anything for it? Nah, it's just annoying. Just letting you know that it's annoying me. Okay, yeah, cool. So I don't think Ted and I don't think Ted and Crofty get on, Do you know what? Gasly's usually pretty good as well. Like, he doesn't have that many incidents, Gasly, for the most part. Alpine have already got a really expensive bill, remember, from last week. At the end, well, not last week, last race, sorry. They had the crash with both of them at the end of the red flag, remember? So that's already a big repair bill for them. So, and then they had the huge fire, which wasn't Gasly's fault, which wrecked the car. So that's a new engine gearbox. And now he's hit the wall again. More expense. So it's these add up now in a cost cap era. So the cars are all queuing up at the pit lane again. Who's going to hit the wall this time? I mean, I'm watching this replay again. He did just come in too hot, I think. But, I mean, it could happen to anyone down there. In fact, dare I say, he won't be the last. Yeah. A lot of damage there at the back. 2 minutes until restart. And no one wants to be in the pits. I don't understand why they just don't wait. Like, I guess they just don't want to risk another red flag. They want to get out and do a lap. It might just be better to stay in your pit with the tire warmers on and then just wait for all that manic to go past. The worry is if you're behind and they have an incident, then you know you've ruined your lap. And for those who really need a lap, like Carlos Sainz, that you can't really risk it. Charles Leclerc's in the garage; he can risk it a little bit more. Well, I mean, Sainz did have a spin last time, so... Oh, hello, they're doing a lot of work on Kevin Magnussen's car here in the garage. They're undoing a lot of screws around the top of the monocoque, which wouldn't suggest anything good. It's just gone up on the jacks as well, as James Vowles looks on. We've got Gunter on the pit wall. I love a little bit of Gunter Steiner. I don't think it's a good time to be talking to Gunter. He doesn't want to talk to you right now. He's looking at the cars getting out. Oh, there he is. I love how Gunter isn't even looking at the camera. He's so focused, as he should be. Not that there's anything he can do. How is there a yellow flag in Sector 1?
Haas in front of you. Let's go. Let's go. Do not let the Haas in front. Let's go.
Do you know what? This might be controversial. I don't mean this in a nasty way. I was watching the F1 build-up yesterday, and Will Buxton is on it. What do you guys think of Will Buxton? There's something about him that rubs me up the wrong way. I don't know. It's something about his demeanor that I don't like. He just seems like a... I don't know. Just something about him. Smarmy is a good... Yeah, very smarmy is probably a good way to put him. He is very smarmy. Well, I really like Ted Kravitz. Ted Kravitz is an absolute delight. He's kooky. He's a little bit weird, but I like him. I like Ted. I think he's very likable. But obviously, some people don't like him, but I like him. Well, that's exactly where I am, bestie. I never used to have any issues with Crofty, but the more I listen to him, just in interviews as well as commentary, the more I'm not as keen on his certainly on his commentary. I like Martin, yeah. Not everyone does, but I really like Martin's insight. Well, Sam Collins is brilliant, Adler. Sam Collins, I think, is brilliant. Jolyon Palmer, I'm not against Jolyon Palmer. I'm not sure he'd be my first choice, but I'm not against him. I really like, but I tell you who I would love on the race weekends every weekend. Anthony Davidson. I'm a big fan of Anthony Davidson. I think his commentary's brilliant. He's got an insight in terms of Formula One, but also sports car racing, Le Mans. He's got so much racing under his belt. Huge fan of Anthony Davidson. I think he speaks really well. He comes across really well. I think his attitude is great. I think Anthony Davidson's brilliant.
So how does the grip feel?
Grip is okay.
Sam Collins. You don't like him, Tilbo? Sam Collins is the one I'm thinking of, right? Yeah. I mean, he's always come across. Oh, yeah, Karun's really nice as well. Karun does the Formula E as well, so if I ever watch the Formula E races as well. But yeah, Karun's great. I think I really like Martin because Martin's been a Formula One driver and he doesn't try and make himself seem bigger than he is. He openly is like, do you know what? He not mocks himself, but he's quite comfortable in saying that he wasn't the best. Do you know what I mean? He's comfortable in saying that people were way better than him. He knows that. And he's obviously got an insight of being in Formula One all those years. So I think I appreciate his insight.
Very sorry, mate.
And he's obviously got a lot of knowledge. So he's
We can't risk it.
So Verstappen and Perez 1 and 2 at the minute. Obviously, it doesn't matter. Sainz did get his lap in. Russell got his lap in as well. Oh, De Resta can do one. Another smarmy one. Looks like K-Mag did have another issue and they've not been able to fix it. Obviously, they were working on his car. They explained about he was having an electrical issue earlier in the session and they obviously haven't been able to find it. So currently, obviously, Gasly and De Vries are out. Magnussen is going to be out. So there isn't really many people at risk at the minute. Bottas and Joe are the two that are in the drop zone. Crusader, how you doing, buddy? McLaren, currently, Norris is in P5. Is he having a nosebleed? Oh, Ocon all over the shop. Ocon over the shop. No, that one didn't work, sorry. He's Ocon over... No, it's not going to work a second time. So K-Mag's made it back to the pit, so he isn't going to get anywhere.
Okay, clip the wall a bit, real right, have a look. Copy that.
I need to... Hold on. There we go, it's a little bit better. You changed your name, okay. Crusader, I like it.
Okay, mate, everything looks good to us, no issues at all.
But, like, the thing is, there's not really much in the way of jeopardy here because I think we know the cars that are going out. I think it's going to be Bottas, Joe, or Sargent, I think. Sainz is down in 10th place, but he's not. He doesn't have to worry about going out. This helmet cam through the castle section is brilliant, by the way. On board with Alex Albon through the castle section. And you can see his wheel changing the brake bias, going up from 7th, 8th. A spot of brake bias as he goes down into the second to last corner. It's technically not the second to last corner. The corner he's coming up to now, I would refer to as second to last, but it's not. The last two corners, 18 and 19, are these fast to left and right heading onto the straight. They even count that last corner as a corner going onto the straight, which it isn't really, but they count it. So Albon's going to get another time in. Sargent's going to get another time in. Russell is going to get another time in. Russell stays in 9th. Sargent goes up to 7th. Sorry, how was Logan Sargent quicker than George Russell? Did George have an issue? Why was George slower? Oh no, George is still on his lap. I beg your pardon. He was 3/10 down on the middle sector. He hadn't actually finished the lap. So George Russell's going to go up to 3rd. Yeah, there we go. He goes up to 4th. Okay. Brilliant. Sonoda, he's not really at risk. Yeah, Sonoda pops it in 8th as well. Sainz is actually in 12th, so I'm interested to see what lap he does here. Bottas is up 2/10. Sainz only 8th, though. Wow. He's way down on Charles Leclerc this weekend. Bottas could squeeze himself out. If he squeezes himself out, Piastri's at risk. And if it's not Piastri, it's Hülkenberg. Should be a terrible start to the weekend for Haas. Bottas does go up, so Piastri needs a good lap, and he's had a really bad middle sector as well. Piastri does enough, goes up to 11th. Brilliant. Alonso pops it in 2nd as well, only 3/10 down from Verstappen. Charles Leclerc's on a banging lap as well. Purple middle sector, green 2nd sector. It goes 1st. A 10th up on Max Verstappen. Now, the reason that's not that interesting is because of track evolution, he was going to be quicker. Max Verstappen's been in the garage for 10 years, so he's not going to be worried about that. The interesting thing for me is Charles Leclerc put in a 141.2, but Carlos Sainz is 9/10 slower with a 142.1. Now, that's surprising. They both were on the track at the same time, so why is Carlos Sainz so much down, so much further down than Charles Leclerc? It does mean, though, that both of the Hasses are out. Obviously, Magnussen had his engine issue, and Hülkenberg's only going to start one place ahead of him in 17th. The other Alfa Romeo of Zhou Guanyu is going to be the other driver to go out in 16th. Bottas just scraped through. In fact, Esteban Ocon only just squeezed through by the skin of his French butt cheeks. Zhou Guanyu was 2 thousandths away. I was close. Ocon could have been out.
Sorry, Nico, we're knocked out. There it goes.
Yeah. It's not good.
This is qualifying for the race on Sunday, Crusader. I enjoyed that. It was a little bit mad. We're going to head into Q2 after the break. Well, I'm not breaking, but they're taking a break, you know? Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
Get toward the right front wheel.
What did he say? Hold on.
Get toward the right front wheel.
Was that a click towards the right front wheel? He said. I couldn't quite make it out. I don't think you would put a click on one side of the wing and not the other, would you? I don't know. That might not be what he said. Yes. What, Nico Hülkenberg's voice engineer? I can't say I mind him. Hold on, let me listen to him again. It's not on here for some reason. They just Ah, there we go. I don't think he sounds slimy. Creepy. No, he doesn't. Does he? I don't know. I don't think he does.
Joe, we are just out P16.
How far?
Just 200s, really tight to Ocon.
Oh no, he clipped the wall with the front right wheel. He said clipped the wall, Lewis said. Didn't look too bad, but... It was straight on. Yeah, he just glanced it, didn't he? Glanced it. He just gave it a little tickle more than anything. Gave it a little tickle. In certain light, the front of that Alfa Romeo, it's just a grey carbon fibre, really, isn't it, rather than black? Oh god, those face masks are horrible. I can't really watch it on YouTube anyway, Shock, it'll ruin the VOD. So, the next session's going to start in 1 minute's time. Also, what do you guys think of the Alpine now they're back in blue? I'm not a fan of the pink. However, at least the pink works as a colour scheme because it's pink and black. The blue one is blue, pink, and black. So, I feel like it's actively worse because you're just adding another colour into the mix. So while I'm not a massive fan of pink, I actually think the pink and black is better because it's at least two colours that work together. The problem is with Alpine is I love that shade of blue. The Alpine blue is beautiful, except it's not beautiful when it's mixed with the pink. So, yeah. It's not a favourite livery of mine, to be sure. The Alpine from, I don't know if it was 2020, 2021, when they had the A down the back of the engine cover. Now that was delightful. Solid blue. Oh, that was a lovely livery, that was. No. It's not the black that ruins it, Adler. It's the pink that ruins it. Black and blue go well together. George's on a used set of tyres. I think Sainz is on a set of used as well. Albon's on a fresh set of tyres. Get a really close look at Lewis Hamilton's steering wheel. His helmet cam seems way closer than other people's to the steering wheel. Bizarre. I think a lot of them are on used tyres. I'm just trying to work it out. The F1 website, I don't think makes it very clear. So I think Leclerc, Norris, Sainz, Verstappen are all on used tyres, at least. Alonso's miles ahead of Lance Stroll. They've changed this on-screen graphic as well. The one that goes over the halo is slightly different. It's been refined a little bit. Honestly reminds you of the one in the game, because that's where everyone puts it on the T cam view. They put it over the halo. Yeah, Alonso way up on Lance Stroll. Perez quickest in the first sector, unsurprisingly, as the Red Bulls unleash their full potential. Albon goes P1, but he's not going to stay there for long. Alonso, 141.4. Stroll's going to cross and do a 142.2. 8 tenths down on his teammate. And he was behind him, so he'd have got a bit of a benefit from that slipstream as well. Which is absolutely bizarre. Perez has actually gone purple in both sectors, 2 tenths up on Verstappen. Russell and Hamilton second, third. Perez is absolutely going for it. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton 6 and 7 tenths down, respectively, on Fernando Alonso's time of 41.4. Perez goes quickest by 2 tenths. Max isn't going to match him, I don't think. That is a very strong lap from Perez. Yeah, he was 6 tenths up on his time from from Q1. That's crazy. I don't think Verstappen's going to match that unless he has a blistering third sector. Yeah, he does have a blistering. Oh, it's close. So he was 2 tenths down, but he only finishes less than a tenth down, 6 thousandths down after having a purple third sector. Fair play. So Hamilton was 1 second down on Perez's time. Russell was 8 tenths. No time yet from Sainz and Leclerc. Oof. Oof, oof, big oof. Oh, it didn't look great, that from Sainz into the old Gasly corner. Took too much curb on the inside as well. Little bit scruffy, 4 tenths down. Yeah, he's backed out of it. I think he went wide there, completely backed out of it. I don't blame him. Very scruffy couple corners from Carlos Sainz. Backed out of it before the castle section. He's going to have to make sure he gets a shifty on, though, because Charles Leclerc's coming up behind him on a quick lap. Carlos Sainz has not looked at the races, pardon the pun, at all. Just not looked good. Charles Leclerc working his way through the tunnel now. He's going to head right up the straight, and yeah, there we go. Carlos Sainz does pull over to the left, as we thought he would. I was hoping he wouldn't get stuck in that castle section with Charles Leclerc coming behind him. Charles Leclerc does have traffic, though. It's a Red Bull. Oh, that's not great. I couldn't say. I think it was Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc goes around the last corner now. Well, technical last corner. He does have the S's before the final straight, but it's going to be a quick lap time from Leclerc, but I don't think it's going to be the quickest time. Green in the first 2 sectors, no purples. It was Max Verstappen that was in front of him. It might have affected him a little bit. I wouldn't say it would have affected him massively, but Formula 1 drivers are sensitive souls. As Charles Leclerc crosses the line, oof, that is incredible. Perez, Verstappen and Leclerc separated by less than a tenth. I think Charles Leclerc was trying to give him a little toe as Sainz was going to start a new lap. But Ferrari look like they're back up to speed a little bit more. It looks like, because apparently they've been doing a lot of simulator work, Ferrari, testing suspension elements, you know, all sorts of things on their car, floor configuration, suspension, engine modes to try and get back up to speed. And apparently they've made quite a big step forward in just understanding the car. And it does seem like they're a lot closer. You know, Charles Leclerc, especially, within a tenth of the Red Bulls. However, Carlos Sainz is way off the pace. Well, he could have done, Ginger. He could have got out further away. He either gets a shift on and moves out of the way, or his engineer tells him a car's coming and he backs off on the straight before. I don't think it was an impeding... You know, he wasn't blocking or anything. But if his engineer would have given him some info, he could have got out sooner, I think. Carlos Sainz back at it again. 6 tenths up on the time he needs to get out of the bottom 3. That's all that time is. He's 6.5 tenths up just on the time he needs to get out of the bottom because he currently hasn't put a good lap in. Well, he hasn't put a racing lap in yet because he backed out of his last one. Both Mercedes have come back out as well. They've done their pit stop. They've come back out pretty early, it has to be said. Yeah, Sainz goes up to 5th on a 41.5. 3 tenths down on Perez. Couple tenths down. Well, 3. He's actually 3 tenths down on Charles Leclerc. Almost 4 tenths down on Perez. Yeah, he's got to find some time, Carlos Sainz, for sure. Ocon's not doing too bad though for Alpine, up in 9th at the minute. He's doing all right. Ooh, traffic again for Albon. Albon's up by 3 tenths of the time again that he needs to get out of the bottom 5. Logan Sargent's up by 3 tenths as well, but everyone's going to be improving now. There's 5 minutes to go. Everyone's going to be coming out, fresh tyres, looking to improve. So you can still see the remnants of that curb in the castle when they had that massive curb on the inside. The drivers would go over, and then eventually everyone was like, "Come on, guys!" and they changed it to a painted curb. But you can still see the remnants of it. Clean from Alex. It's been a clean lap. 4.5 tenths up on his lap time. So he's going to go up to, what, 6th? I want to say. Both Mercedes need a lap because they're both on the cusp at the minute. Yeah, Albon goes up to 7th. So, I mean, is it going to be good enough? Leclerc goes into 1st with a 141 flat. A 141 flat, a 10th quicker than Perez. Both of the Red Bulls are still in the garage, though. Lewis Hamilton's improving by half a second. He only goes up to 8th, though. Bloody hell. Lewis Hamilton only goes up to 8th place with that time. Wow. Russell? Russell goes to 9th! What? Yellow flag, sector 1. I don't see anything in sector 1 there. Oh, it's a Ferrari. Yeah, just reverse onto the track, Carlos. It's okay, mate. Carlos, you want to calm down? Same corner as Gasly. What's that, turn 4? No, turn 3. He's down, gone straight on at turn 3. Decided not to do the old spinneroo. And instead he opted to reverse back on the track. Yeah, he realised early on. I think he didn't do the spinneroo so he could save those tyres. He didn't want to burn his tyres. This is one of the Williams getting blocked by the Ferrari. Yeah, it was Alex Albon. I think that's Charles Leclerc ahead of him. What's this new sponsor on the back of the Williams? Kraken. Is that the rum? Or is that something different? I haven't seen that sponsor on the rear wing before. All right, all the top guys are out on fast laps now. This is a real concern for the Mercedes. Are Mercedes going out again? Are they going to do another lap? They have to, right? They're in 8th and 9th. Yeah, Mercedes are in a lot of trouble. Yeah. Such a draggy car, isn't it? They're going to struggle. If it's like this, they're going to struggle at Miami as well because, again, straights. Long straights. Ocon's up by 1/10.5. Mercedes need to find some time or they're going to get knocked out by a bloody Williams.
At one point you tell me we are safe, eh?
I will, mate.
Maybe toward
Kraken is one of the world's longest standing digital asset platforms.
Yeah, understood.
NFT then, yeah. Verstappen up by 0.02 of a second. So Verstappen's going to puck in. He's going to put in a quick lap time. Ocon is up by 1/10. Which I don't think would actually put him... I think it would only put him in 10th, though, for Ocon. I think that's only going to put him into top 10, unless he gains a lot in the last sector. It's not going to be enough to make him... put him up any further. Yeah, top 10 for Ocon currently. Bottas, I don't think Bottas is going to be able to sneak in. Piastri is the one that we need to look at. Bottas is 0.3 down on the time he needs, so he isn't going to improve. Piastri's only 0.02 quick, so he might get into the top 10 and knock Ocon out. Norris is 5th. Great lap time from Norris. Great lap time from Norris. Max Verstappen goes quickest by 0.2 of a second. Purple in sectors 1, 2, and 3. Bottas, no. Piastri! Oh! Oh my god!
RDP11.
Russell's out!
Yeah, well, we would have got through if Carlos didn't get in the way.
Four 1/1000ths of a second between Hamilton and Russell is out of Q2.
Are we in or not?
So we just dropped to P11.
Ah, sugar. We don't have the pace this weekend, guys. Another chance tomorrow.
Oh dear. Oh dear. So Sargent in 15th, Bottas in 14th, Albon in 13th, Ocon in 12th, and George Russell in 11th. And you have to say, the Mercedes did not look quick, did it? It looked slow in a straight line. And we've seen that all season and all last season. And it's come to Baku, and that car is very, very draggy. And this is the sort of track that shows it off. James Allison was saying that they're trying to find more downforce without adding drag, because they're lacking downforce, but they can't put more downforce on without increasing drag as well. So it's a really tricky thing to do, obviously. Whereas Red Bull are able to, they've got enough downforce, but they're also a bullet in a straight line, which is something they struggled with against Mercedes in the hybrid era for the most part, because Mercedes were quick in a straight line because of the superior engine power. Mercedes don't have a superior engine anymore.
Slow through here.
Oh dear. Dearie me. So Bono saying to Lewis he's losing all the time in a straight line. Bono, yeah, losing in a straight line loss. Yeah. That's crazy. Crazy. I mean, George's going to be furious. I don't think he fucking will. He's not got enough speed. The only way Hamilton's getting further up the grid is if he gets a massive toe off someone. Yeah, George, just look at the people just walking alongside trying to get pictures. Oh, fuck off. Look at that fucking prick. Trying to get a fucking selfie walking alongside him. Just walks up to him. Yeah. Oh, I fucking hate those people. He doesn't even say anything. He's just got his phone ready and he's like... He's just got knocked out in qualifying, you absolute idiot. He doesn't want a selfie with you. Go watch the racing. What are you doing back there? Just trying to get pictures. Go watch the racing out on track. I hate him.
Is P7 Yuki?
Yes, let's go, baby.
Karun Chandak saying that Lewis gave Piastri a toe and that's what cost George Russell in the end. I think he's been a bit ridiculous there. I mean, at the end of the day, both Mercedes were slow. I'm not sure. Well, no, they don't. Well, Hamilton didn't complete his last lap though, Ginger. He pitted. He didn't complete it. So we don't actually know if he's got a little bit more pace. But we assume not, because George, if he had pace, he would have put it in on that final lap, wouldn't he? You'd assume. I mean, Mercedes is way off the pace. Way off the pace. Nowhere near. This is a pure power track, and they're nowhere. Yeah. It's going to be rough. I tell you what, though. Going back to the top three, Charles Leclerc, Perez, and Max Verstappen are going to be very close. Very close. Sainz, on the other hand, not so much.
It's green light now. Okay, let's go.
I don't know why Crofty's being a dick. He saw it on. We saw it on board. Just tell Ted that you saw it. Hmm. Right. Who's going to get it then? Come on. Who's getting pole position? I still think it's going to be Verstappen, but honestly, Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, it could be either one of them, I think, based on what I've just seen. Could be either one of them. It's going to be interesting. Oi, Taylor Swift joke. We haven't heard any of those this season, this weekend. Max, Charles, Sergio. I think that's I mean, it's a wise choice, Wiggle. I think you said early on that that's what it was going to be, and I don't think you're going to be far wrong. I think that is going to be the top three. I think Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen is going to be the top three, I think. I just don't know in what order, but that is going to be the top three. It looks like the McLaren of Norris is going to be ahead of the Mercedes. So somehow the Mercedes is going to go from being behind both of their customer teams, including one McLaren that's been terrible all season. Mercedes are going to be furious. Because the McLaren's meant to be really draggy as well. How is it quicker than the Mercedes? You're in at 4. Well, the race is at 12 o'clock on Sunday, Ginger. Could we be able to watch it? On Sunday, the race is at 12 o'clock, so it's on quite early. Yeah, that outside curb at turn, I think it's turn 5 is... Ooh, he was sideways through Castle. There's no curb there on the exit of the turn after Castle. There is on the F1 game. There's actually no curb there on in real life. Yeah, that's fair enough, Ginger. But like I say, it's on at 12 o'clock, so you would, in theory, be able to watch it, but you probably just want to relax and watch it, which is fair enough. Verstappen absolutely blitzing that middle sector, but Charles Leclerc does have the quickest first sector. Max Verstappen's quickest second and third sector, middle and last sector. Woo! That is insane. That is insane. Exactly the same time. Exactly the same time. But he misses out because he set it second. That is close. Ooh-wee. Hamilton in 5th, but Norris behind him is on all tyres, so... Oof. That is crazy. The exact same lap time. And they did it in different sectors. You know, the likelihood of having that is just so small. That's wild. Georgie boy. He got unlucky, didn't he, George? But where have Ferrari come from all of a sudden? I know I said that they've been doing simulator work and they've improved, but they've gone from being 8/10ths down to being able to... Like, they've been really... They've not been too bad in qualifying, to be fair. It's mainly been the race, hasn't it? But admittedly, yeah. Stroll's doing his lap time out of sync to everyone else. He didn't look like he had DRS open down the straight, Lance Stroll. What? Is he doing a warm-up lap or what? He doesn't have DRS open. You wouldn't be starting your lap without DRS open. You'd lose time all the way down that straight. But he's got it open now in the... That's weird. It's weird that he didn't have it open down the straight. Because you'd benefit from it just a small amount from the start-finish straight to first corner. You wouldn't want to give that up.
Same lap time as Verstappen? It's like literally same lap time, or
Yeah.
you see some hundreds behind?
No,
in
literally
front,
the
right.
same.
So everyone's back in the pits, bar from Lance Stroll, who's currently on a lap, and Oscar Piastri. They've gone back to a double pillar rear wing as well, Ferrari. They were trying that single pillar, but...
Literally the same.
What's interesting with the reduced downforce is, obviously, they're gaining lap time down the straight, but are they losing speed in the corners? Based on that lap time, they're not. But in the race, are they going to struggle? Because they've taken off wing, like in that middle sector, are they going to struggle more? We'll see, I suppose. I don't know why Lance Stroll isn't opening his DRS. Now he's got it open.
Lando, how much do you think the new tyre can give us? We have a choice here. We either leave this
No.
set on, we go
What?
again on it.
I don't know what's going on there. He's backed out of it.
Nothing for SQ3 tomorrow.
It did.
I mean, I definitely think it would give us a few times.
On the HUD, if you like, the on-screen display, it looked like it was going on and off. I don't know whether it actually was though, or that was just the display, you know. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, that makes sense. He's going to be losing so much time with that DRS issue. I picked it up straight away. Hope you're proud of me, guys. Because there's no reason you wouldn't be using it down that straight. And yeah, so he would have been losing a ton of time. Yeah, that's easily 6/10ths that he's losing. Because, you know, it's just free lap time that you're not getting down the straight. So. Mick Schumacher in the Mercedes garage, consoling George Russell. What's bloody Alonso doing? So, Charles Leclerc now on his final lap of Q3. Let's see what he can do. Yeah, they've taken that curb away on the inside, so there's actually been some changes to the curbs around here. Wonder if the new Formula 1 game will represent that well. Yeah, he looks like he's on it. He's certainly got the pace of Carlos Sainz this weekend, Charles Leclerc, for sure. So he's going into 5 and 6 now. He's up by a 10th. And Carlos Sainz is down by 2.5 tenths. So this is between Leclerc, Verstappen, and Perez. Perez is up by a 10.5 as well. Quickest first sector from Perez. Quicker than Charles Leclerc. I don't want to see that Ferrari fan. Perez just coming through Castle now. 35-1 first sector.
On strat 2. Tsunoda's approaching the final corner.
Looks like a clean lap so far from Leclerc, but 2.5 seconds. Charles Leclerc is up. Purple middle sector. What's Perez gonna do? Carlos Sainz 7 tenths down. Perez. Oh, Perez is down. He's lost time. He's at a slow middle sector. He's at a really slow middle sector. Charles Leclerc's going to cross the line. He's going to improve by 2.5 tenths. Carlos Sainz is not going to improve. He's going to stay in 4th. Perez, he had a terrible middle sector though, Perez. He's going to be down. Yeah, 3rd. 3 tenths off. He must have made a mistake. Max. Oh, he's 2nd. Oh my God. Verstappen as well had a terrible middle sector. Fernando Alonso 6th behind Lewis Hamilton. Wow. Charles Leclerc by 0.2 seconds. Oh, we got a fight on our hands. Oh. Wow. Wow. Stroll and Piastri have done the exact same lap time as well. Norris crosses the line, goes P7. Wow. So Charles Leclerc P1. Verstappen 0.188 behind. Perez 0.292. We know that both Perez and Max Verstappen had slow middle sectors. We didn't see what happened, but they had slow middle sectors. And then Sainz in 4th, who had an absolutely terrible lap, but he's been way off the pace. He's 0.8 seconds down. Lewis is 0.974 down. That's 1 second off Leclerc's time. Incredible how slow that Mercedes is around here in a straight line. Alonso's over a second down in P6. Norris very close to Alonso's time. Tsunoda in P8. Stroll in P9, but he had his issue. And then Piastri in P10. Really good from McLaren. Really good from McLaren. Now remember, this is for the grid on Sunday. This is not for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we do this all again. Just to set the grid for the sprint race later that day. So tomorrow, we do it all again. Tomorrow morning, in fact. I think it's like 9:30. Yeah, 9:30 tomorrow morning. And then the sprint race is at 2:30. Well. Well. I am streaming, yeah. So the plan for tomorrow is thus. I will be live first thing tomorrow morning playing some Star Wars Jedi Egg. We will do the sprint shootout on Twitch. And then I will end the Twitch stream about 2:15. And then we will move across to YouTube to do the sprint race. And then I'm going out tomorrow night. And then I will be live again on Sunday on YouTube for the race. So I'll be live first thing tomorrow morning on Twitch. So if you're around, I'll be streaming. I'll stream the sprint shootout and the sprint. Looking forward to it. But yeah, this is for the race. So this could be completely different to the sprint qualifying that we have tomorrow. You know, qualifying could be completely different tomorrow for the sprint. So, yeah. I think Max Verstappen's going to be a little bit miffed. He's going to be like, wow, okay, what's happened here? Ferrari have really turned that around. Really turned that around. Wow.
Yeah, Leclerc's got P1, 40.2. Max 40.3, and then yourself 40.4.
Incredible.
Okay.
It's a very good effort, Checo. P3 for the
Incredible.
Well done, mate.
Good job, guys. Good job.
It's good.
It's important just to get through it.
Right. Here's what's going to happen now, kids. I'm going to head off. I've just got to pop out for a little bit. Get my lop cut and all that. And then I'll be back live again on Twitch about 5:30? Something like that.
Good effort, lads. Still got some work to do, so let's keep pushing, guys.
Yeah, something like 5:30. I'll be back on Twitch. We'll play some Jedi, and then we'll probably play some Formula 1 before CS, etc., etc. Not clean shaven, but you know. Yeah. So thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you guys later back on Twitch, and good egg to you all. Goodbye.